So I'm Paul Jackman. I run the YouTube channel and website Jackman Works. It's a mixture of mostly woodworking, often with reclaimed and upcycled materials, also stemming into other things like metalworking and epoxy and concrete, and always trying to do unique things and expand my skill set. Number one tool in my shop is probably the table saw. That's the center of my shop, literally and figuratively. Use it probably on every project. It's kind of the starting point and ending point a lot of the time. I don't think I'd be able to do anything without my table saw. I'd say that a lot of what I do kind of is non-traditional with the reclaimed and upcycled stuff. So a lot of times I have to kind of adapt to the material instead of the traditional using the tool with the fresh wood or the fresh cut lumber. So kind of adapting, like using the CNC along with stuff, or like I've formed concrete with wood to get the wood grain from the wood transitioned over to the concrete and kind of unique stuff like that. I'm inspired by seeing others create. I then want to create, especially unique projects. If I kind of, not necessarily mimic them, but see different design aspects that other people use. I kind of like to borrow ideas and kind of use them in a different way. I'm always trying to find an excuse to work with different materials and gain new skills, which is how the videography and the YouTube stuff came about, is because I wanted to learn how to do that. So that kind of branched off of the woodworking. And similar to that, I've done a little bit of metalworking, and I want to do more of that and branch out. So reclaimed wood is a big thing for me, and there's a couple of different reasons, I guess. You know, on an environmental perspective, instead of throwing stuff away or buying new material, you get to reuse some material that was destined for the trash instead of cutting down a tree. And it's perfectly good material oftentimes, and people just don't know what else to do with it. The second part of that is that I do it to, it kind of locks me into using that material rather than buying like fresh lumber. The possibilities are endless, or buying construction lumber that's, you know, very uniform and you can buy it anywhere. With reclaimed materials, it's very unique, which makes the projects unique, and that's through the story of the material oftentimes, but also unique in the design, because the design is dictated by the material that you use. Say salvage wood comes from a lot of places. Pallets are an easy one. Oftentimes I'm just always looking in dumpsters and on the side of the road on trash day, and people will throw away perfectly good stuff they're just looking to get rid of, and that often finds its way into the back of my car. I'd say each project kind of, as I finish it, gives me a good sense of accomplishment. My workbenches I made out of pallets. There was 21 pallets, I think, to make these benches, and I filled up my trailer with pallets, brought them back here, tore them all apart. Took me a little bit over a week, and I built these two workbenches in my shop that are now like a fixture, a permanent fixture in the center of my shop. I use them every day, and they're a fixture in my videos too. They're always a talking piece. So I'd say those are probably one of the most proud things that I've done. Probably the closest thing I had to a catastrophe was one of the bowls that I was making. It was a wedding present for my cousin-in-law, and it was a full segmented piece, all made out of pallet wood, something like 300 to 400 pieces. And I was doing some of the final cuts on the bowl, or I think it was even the final sanding, and went a little bit too thin, and the bowl came flying off the lathe. The bottom cracked on the bowl. But I ended up being able to save it. I kind of sanded the bottom flat, added a new bottom onto the bowl, and glued it all together. Carefully stuck it back on the lathe, and was able to make a finished piece out of it. But that was certainly a big setback and a scary experience. Never be scared of hard work. A lot of people just seem to kind of wait for stuff to come to them, but you kind of need to force your way in and do stuff, whether that's ripping apart 20 pallets and making something out of it, or something completely different from that. But kind of don't be scared away from an opportunity just because it looks like it might be sweaty or might, you know, get some nicks on your hands.